Okay, this is the second lesson of the unit on constructions. So this is C-L02, that's constructions-lesson 02. So there's 3 pages in this lesson, so you can put a 1 out of 3 in the corner and put your heading. Okay? Make sure that when you put the date down, you put today's date. It should be the 23rd, but in case it's a different date, make sure you put the date that you're actually doing it down. Alright, now here's the essential question for the lesson. How do we construct an angle that is congruent to another angle? Okay. The homework is C-HW02. That's construction homework 02. We're going to complete a handout. Alright, and if you ever have trouble on that handout, you can always see the YouTube video C-L02 for help. So the warm-up is to solve the following problem. Make a copy of line segment AB. Okay? So directly below, the line directly below that, you can see I made a segment 2 inches in to 4.5 inches. Okay, so from A to B should go from 2 to 4.5. Alright, and that's given to you. Now you're going to use your knowledge of constructions to solve this problem. And remember, you did this problem in the last lesson, the first lesson on this unit. So if you need to go back, you go ahead and do that. Okay, once you're done with that, you'll do it in the space provided. Oh, let me move this up. Sorry about that. Show you really quickly again that if I line the ruler up, this is at the 2 to the 4.5. Okay? So in the space provided below, you'll do the construction. Alright, then you can turn it over. In the center, you want to write construction 02, copy an angle. So this is the second construction, and it's called copy an angle. Now, in this problem, we're given an angle. Okay? The task is to construct an angle that is congruent to the given angle. So then we have some directions. Okay? So the first step is to draw a reference line if one is not already given. The second step is to put a starting point on the left side of the reference line. The third step, put the compass point on the vertex of the given angle and open the compass until the pencil is approximately in the middle of the angle. Make an arc that crosses both sides of the angle. The fourth step, without changing the compass, place the compass point on the starting point on the reference line and make an arc that is the same size as the arc you made on the given angle in step 3. The fifth step, place the compass point on the given angle where the arc you drew intersected one of the sides of the angle. Open the compass until the pencil is where the arc intersects the other side of the given angle. The sixth step, without changing the compass, place the compass point where the arc you drew in step 4 intersects the reference line. And the seventh step, which will continue on to the next page, is to make a small arc that crosses the arc that you made in step 4. Okay, you can see where I have that continued here. Right, so when we need to continue a sentence, we never write in the bottom line. We just make an arrow pointing at the margin. Right, in this case, I had to put a new heading. This is page 2 out of 3, so I put my heading and I just continue it indented, right, because this is indented here. So I continued it indented in step 4. So then the 8th step, draw a line from the starting point on the reference line that goes a little bit through where the 2 arcs intersect. Finally, the result, your constructed angle is congruent to the given angle. and the explanation, which is pretty long. Okay? The explanation says, if you drew a line segment connecting where the arcs cross the sides of the angles, you would have two triangles with 3 sets of congruent sides. 3 congruent sides of a triangle, which is called SSS, is sufficient to prove triangles congruent, and we'll see more of that later on in the year. Since the triangles are congruent, any leftover corresponding parts are also congruent. Thus, the angle on the reference line and the given angle are congruent. Okay. Once you're done with that, you can turn this over. So, for example 1, we want to make a copy of angle ABC, and this is the given angle. Now, you need to count down from this line 1, 2, 3 lines, okay? And you put your ruler at the 0 lined up on the left margin, and you can see this dot is 4 inches in, okay? Then you go down from here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 lines. Line your ruler up again, and you can see this point is at the 2-inch mark, and this point is at the 4-inch mark. Okay? Then you can draw your 2 segments. Now, just extend past the point about 1 inch. Doesn't have to be exactly 1 inch, just go past about 1 inch past each point. Alright? So, let's follow the directions and see if we can draw this angle. Okay? Remember the first step. Draw a reference line if one is not already given. So I'm going to draw a reference line. I'm going to go down here. Go down right to, let's see, you see this line that lines up with the hole here? Go 1, 2, 3, 4 above it. Okay, and use a pencil to draw a reference line from one corner to the other, from one margin to the other. Okay, so there's my reference line. Now look at step 2. Put a starting point on the left side of the reference line. So we did this also in the last construction. So there. Put the compass point on the vertex of the given angle and open the compass until the pencil is approximately in the middle of the angle. Make an arc that crosses both sides of the angle. Okay. So I'm putting the compass point on the vertex of the given angle, right here, and I'm changing the width of my compass until I'm about halfway or somewhere in the middle, anywhere in the middle of the arc. I want to be about in the middle. Okay? Once I'm in the middle, I make an arc that crosses both sides of the angle. So I'm going to make an arc that's going to cross both sides of this angle. It's going to go a little bit below and a little bit above. Okay? Now you see how I crossed near point C? It doesn't matter that I did that. Alright? It just happened to turn out that way. You saw when I measured it, I just measured into the middle of the arc. So the fact that it crossed where that point is doesn't make any difference. As you can see, it didn't cross point A. That doesn't matter. It wouldn't matter if it crossed either of the points. Okay? It doesn't have to cross any of them. Alright? The only thing that matters is that I make that arc somewhere in the middle of the angle. Now I'm not changing the compass. I'm just going to put the compass aside and look at the next directions. Without changing the compass, place the compass point on the starting point on the reference line and make an arc that is the same size as the arc you made on the given angle in step 3, in the last step. So I want to try and make this same arc, okay, as best I can, the same size on the reference line, starting from this starting point. So I put my point there, and I was a little bit below, and I went about that big. Doesn't matter to be exact, okay, just about. Okay? So one of my arcs came out a little bit messed up there, so let me erase that. Okay. Alright, so there I have it. And you can see that they're pretty much the same. Okay? Now, the next step. Place the compass point on the given angle where the arc you drew intersected one of the sides of the angle. Open the compass. Let me see. Place the compass point on the given angle where the arc you drew intersected one of the sides of the angle. Open the compass until the pencil is where the arc intersects the other side of the given angle. So here's what that means. I go back to my given angle. Now, I put the compass point at either one of these 2 points, okay, where the arc intersects the side of the angle. It doesn't matter where. I'm going to put it on the bottom right here. So it crossed the side right there. And now I'm going to change the size of my compass until the pencil point goes right to where it crossed the other side. Okay? Right there. Alright? Now let's see what it says to do after that. Without changing the compass, place the compass point where the arc you drew in step 4 intersects the reference line. Okay? So, without changing the compass, you see I'm going to place the compass point right where that arc crossed the reference line. Let's see the next step. Make a small arc that crosses the arc you made in step 4. So, make a small arc from this point that crosses that arc, because I made this arc in step 4. So I'm just making a small arc that crosses this arc. Okay? Let's see what the final direction is. Draw a line from the starting point on the reference line that goes a little bit through where the 2 arcs intersect. So I'm drawing a line from the starting point on the reference line to where right through where the 2 lines intersect. Okay, it says go a little bit past, so I'm going a little bit past. Now you can see I have my angle here. Okay, so what I want to do now is I want to highlight my angle in pen. So I'm going from the point, and I'm going to highlight it in pen a little bit past, about an inch past. Make my arrow. Okay, that's like this bottom side here, right? So I'm going to label this point here C. This point is B, right? B and C. And then up here I have A. Now it doesn't matter where on this side you label A. You might as well just label it where everything crosses, just so that you'll remember easier. So let's call this A. And we also have to go over this side in pen. Okay, and make your arrow. And that is how you copy an angle using constructions. Now, that's the second page, so you can put that aside. And let's go on to the third page. So you need a new sheet. You're going to put 3 out of 3 in the corner, and this is still C-L02. Put your heading. Okay? And here's your checkpoint problem, the first one. Make a copy of angle DEF. Alright? And DEF is given to us again. Now I have to show you where to make this angle. From this line, go down 1, 2, 3. Okay, and we're going over 4 again. So I'm making a dot 4 inches in from the left margin. 3 lines down. 1, 2, 3. Then you can go to the line that crosses through this circle, okay, and measure in 2 inches and 4 inches. Or you can count down from this point, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 lines down. But it's the one that goes through that middle circle there. 2 inches in, 4 inches in. Make your lines, label your points, okay? And you're going to make a copy of this angle in the space provided below. Alright? Now, turn this page over, and on the back you're going to do the second construction, which is to make a copy of angle GHI. Okay? Again, this one I counted from this line here, 1, 2, 3 down. I measured in this time 4 inches again. Okay? Then I went down from this line 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 lines. Okay? I went down 6 lines, and I measured in 3 inches and made a dot, and I measured in 4.5 inches and made a dot. Then I just connected my lines and went about 1 inch past with the arrows, and label your points G, H, and I. And then you can make a copy of that construction in the space provided below. Okay? Once you're finished with that, you are finished with the second lesson on the constructions unit, which was how to copy an angle. In the first lesson we did copy a segment. Okay? So good luck.